There you go. Now we are live. So, welcome everyone to today's panel. We're going to be talking about innovative materials, what's new in the industry. My name is Araceli Gallego. I'm the country coordinator for Fashion Revolution UAE. Today's host is going to be the one and only Gauri Tripathi. She has been a new a new addendum to the Fashion Revolution, and we are so happy she's here. She is a visual strategist. She specializes in space design and customer experience. She has a lot of experience in visual merchandising, guys. If you know, that is very difficult. She studied design with fashion and textiles, and she loves crafting with yarns. That's why she's going to be teaching us everything about macrame on Saturday. And she got introduced to the Global Fashion Exchange, and now she's part also of Fashion Revolution UAE, because, you know, we are partnering with Global Fashion Exchange through our very good friend, Patrick Duffy. We send you a big kiss, Patrick. Yeah. We're going to be posting everybody's profiles on the chat. So please feel free to join, to link up with them. This is a community. It's all about growing together. So yeah, I let you, Gauri, all yours.
Thank you, Madam Araceli, for the lovely introduction and also for giving me an opportunity to host this and for making me a part of Fashion Revolution. All right, so good evening, everyone. Today's discussion about innovative materials has three people on the panel. The first one on the list is Kim Tham. She's the head of business development in Costera, which is an innovative solution that enables carbon dioxide removal in textiles. And the person who wears it becomes an active agent of climate, climate agents of change, like impact the climate positively. So imagine you're wearing this textile treated with Costera and you're going around and you are living and walking activist. Welcome, Kim.
Thank
The
you.
second one on the list, hello. The second one on the list is Aisha Siddiqa. As you all heard from Araceli, she was the previous country head for Fashion Revolution. She is the founder of Ethical Elements. She is a woman with a mission and a vision. She believes that no business owner should struggle to develop their business ethically. And she also believes that when given an equal choice, every customer, every person would choose to buy sustainable products and choose an ethical option. Aisha, do you want to? Yeah, she's here. You can see her. And the third one on our panel is our lovely Araceli. She is the country coordinator for Fashion Revolution UAE. She is a sustainable fashion advocate and speaker, and she is the powerhouse behind Go Shopia. Her team is also the backbone of this entire Fashion Revolution UAE campaign. She also runs the Sustainable Souk and the Sustainable Fashion Expo. She's also another feather in a cap. She's also the editor-in-chief of Dubai Fashion News. Welcome, Araceli.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, my dears. In my case, I'm going to be representing some of the innovations that you can find within my platform, as we kind of have a limited amount of people here. But I will be talking from different brands and different materials from my side.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Araceli. So since you've started with that, I would invite you to kind of share, the innovative materials that you have at Go Shopia and the latest inventions in materials that you've seen lately.
Hello. So, you guys hear me now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, the mute unmute was like getting a little bit dizzy. So there are some things that I'm very excited about, of new materials that are coming. I don't know if you, well, we have here already about Mirum and about mushroom leather. This is super interesting also. It's still minor because there is, it's still in development. It's not perfect as yet, but I'm excited to see what's coming next. In the past, we did interviews with Banana Text and with Piña Text. That's already part of the market that is well developed, is well tested, and is working very nice. I have some things that I want to show you that are coming up that I think are interesting. So we have this kind of thing. Oops, I don't know if you guys see. Oops. Okay, I disappear altogether. Okay, this.
Yeah, it's just.
We have this. This is actually made with palm. So it's part of the, Goshopia is not only D2C, it's also B2B. And these portfolios are made with palm leaves. The leftovers, when you are cropping the palms, the leaves and stuff, you're able to create this material. It's very interesting, not only for bags. I think it's something that will eventually catch up. This is developed in Spain, and very soon it may be rolled to different areas. Then also we have another new thing. I don't know if you hear the fruit called persimmon. So this is made out of persimmon. It's a fruit. It's a tropical fruit, and you're able to have this kind of, the feeling is amazing. It's like leather, but it is coming out of fruit. So it is really super nice. And I think this is a way how we can, how out of the food industry, for example, that they have so much waste, we can actually transform it and reuse it. There's no such a thing as waste. First of all, we should try to compose it. But if before that, we can actually give it a second life, even much better. I'm excited for these things that are coming up. Also, another one that is related to the food industry as a leftover, this is made out of orange peel. This is a scarf. It's super nice. It's very silky.
Wow.
And this is made out of orange peel. It looks super amazing. If you feel it, you will love it. And I think this is also interesting. You see, when you are dealing with the orange juice makers, all those pulp, all those shells that are there, they are going to waste. There's not, and they will produce emissions in the landfill until they decompose. So we better do something with them. We are able to extract the viscose and then have these beauties. And that way we need to use less raw materials from cotton or from polyester. Talking about polyester, this is a brand that I want to support also. It's a Scarfy. They are doing, this is a recycled polyester, so you can print on it. And it's really cool also, that at least you get to do something with the bottles. This is coming from bottles of water, basically. And you can have these very vibrant colors because you can digitally print on top. When you are doing prints, you normally need a synthetic base. So this actually works very well with that. I want to show you more things because I think this is really, really cool. I don't know if you guys see. Oops, again, I disappeared. Well, these ones are trousers. It's called Ankara. You can see them on your website. This is made with seaweed and tencel. Yeah, seaweed. Really, really cool, probably Asian, also all these things. But when you feel it, it's super soft. It's really fresh. It's super fantastic. And it's using two sustainable materials, but basically out of seaweed, we are able also to extract fiber that is commercially available. So this is really, really cool. It's called Pyratex, the material itself, in case that you guys want to check it out. It's called Pyratex. Oh, more things. Sorry, I have to go back. This also is another type of leather. Is recycled microfiber that you can do belts, you can do bags, you can do everything. It's super durable. And as we are using a lot of microfibers, and when we're doing like the wipes and all that, this is a good way that it can be repurposed and give it a more life, So this is also very interesting material. And I am loving the durability because I have some pieces for this for like 5 years ago, because I normally put to the test everything, and they are still pristine, honestly. Like, they are so durable. I'm liking this a lot. Even though it's plastic, at least it's a creative way to give it a second life. Then another thing that I don't know exactly, but this is, when you guys came to the launch party, some of the winners got this. Actually, Gauri, I think I have still yours here. This is a mix of plastic, bioplastic, with coffee leftovers. How this helps? This is part of the collection of Goshopia Corporate for business. We can put the branding on the cups, but basically we reduce the amount of plastic out there, because part of the plastic is not plastic basically. So that way it actually gets to be better basically. And we have different products using that. We are using at the moment coffee leftovers and straw also. And it's working very nice. And also corn, like the corn. And then I also want to bring this is one of the brands that came with us to the Sustainable Fashion Expo. This is a bracelet from Guava, and they basically are using tires. So it's a matter of being creative, even in fashion, and see what is around you, how you can give it a second life. We have these all over the place in reality, but who would have come with the idea of actually creating beautiful bracelets with them? So I think it's great. Kim is going to be able to show us what innovation entails from a very innovative point of view. But I think human ingenuity must open the doors to whatever we have around us to give it a better use and be able to, come up with ideas.
Wow,
Yeah.
all of that looks super interesting. I would never relate a fruit with a fabric, but all of the products that you showed, they were very, very interesting, Araceli. And you have all of them on the website.
Aisha can tell you more, but the viscose normally are coming from trees. So this is not many people know, but there is actually everything is coming one way or another from nature.
Yeah. Thank you, Araceli. Kim, you are left from my side. Would you want to go on next and explain to us a little bit more about Costera and how it forms and how does it work?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. I thought that those were really great innovations that I've been seeing around in the market as well. And I think it's quite interesting to point out that a lot of these innovative materials and basically materials, I wouldn't call them fabric per se, but materials in general all come from some form of waste stream. With regards to Costera, however, we are not dealing with any form of we do not create new materials, but what we do have is a functional finish. So we actually work directly with textile mills to embed Costera as a liquid basically onto the fabric. And then thereafter, it enables this fabric to remove or capture carbon dioxide from the air that is around you. So basically, when you wear this textile, it can remove and hold and collect the carbon dioxide on the surface of the textile. And then we have actually designed this to basically capture over a period of about 10 to 14 hours, which is a typical, period of time that you would wear a garment for. And it doesn't just stop there. So after you have done, saturating the carbon dioxide on the surface of the textile, how do you then remove it, right? The important thing is sequestering the carbon dioxide. So our team have also, our amazing technical team have also designed a form of carbon desorption through a typical laundry process. So we have made it very drop-in that sense, because we do understand also that when it comes to innovation, especially when the fashion industry is like a super old industry, we don't want to rock in with new machinery, increased barriers to entry. So it has to be very drop-in. It has to be very easy for both the textile mills, the manufacturing side, as well as the consumers to be able to be active agents of change. So I think on the desorption part, so sorry, I kind of digressed a little bit. So on the removal of this carbon dioxide, when you're done with your typical clothes, when you're done with it, I hope that most of you do this, you throw it into your washing machine to have it washed. So it is during this process that the carbon dioxide will chemically react with the chemicals in your typical household laundry detergent. And then it is through this chemical reaction that it will mineralize this carbon dioxide into a harmless mineral that is then washed away. So this harmless mineral is basically, is stable, is commonly found. And yeah, so we have actually did some tests, and we have found that Basically, this harmless mineral is baking soda or sodium bicarbonate, which is, as most of you know, it's a very common household cleaning agent, sometimes even what you put in your baking products, right? So at this same time, when you do wash your garment, it will at the same time recharge the textile for it to remove carbon dioxide again. So it's not a one-time thing. So I actually have here, I saw that Araceli was bringing out some samples, so I quickly grabbed one. We have our very first carbon removal t-shirt that we produced for our internal as corporate t-shirts for a start. So this t-shirt basically is removing carbon dioxide as we speak. Yeah.
Thank you, Kim. Just out of curiosity, so Costera is a treatment, and can it be done on any sort of fabric, or are there, so only certain fabrics that can be used for this treatment?
Yeah, so this is a treatment. Is basically, you know how in a typical manufacturing line, most fabrics go through a softener process. So not to bore you, all of you, with like the technical details, but this is exactly where Costera is added in. It's a finishing step. With regards to what type of fibers, what type of fabrics, we have actually designed this to be optimized on cellulose. We do see great results on cellulosic fibers. We do see great results also on polyester and wool, polyamides as well, so like nylon and whatnot, blends as well, they all work. However, it is still basically the most efficient on cellulosic fibers. And when we talk about efficiency, it's mostly on actually the quantity or the amount of carbon dioxide that can be removed and then sequestered thereafter.
Very interesting. Thanks, Kim. We will now come to Aisha. Could you tell us more about how did ethical elements come into being, and what inspired you to kind of start it?
Oh, ethical elements, like Archie said, I was the coordinator for UAE Fashion Revolution a long time ago. It's been a while. I've worn many different hats. And when I came to Dubai, I had studied corporate responsibility and sustainability and everything. And fashion was something that I was personally interested in. So when I came to Dubai, I found a big gap for ethical fashion, sustainable fashion, and decided to do something about it. Like Goshopia, I had also created an online platform at that time called Future Fashion, which then I completely forgot about when I got into Fashion Revolution. and so got involved with Fashion Revolution. And then during this process, I met my founders, Sana and Sonam, who were like, you know what, let's partner up together and do something about what's going on here, and let's come up with a product, because everyone is selling finished products here, and what's the main core of sustainable fashion? And they were like fabrics, and we were like, okay, great, so let's start introducing sustainable and ethical fabrics to this region, because that was lacking. People found some finished products, but designers, because there's so many upcoming designers in UAE and in the Middle East in general, wanted to create their own collections and had no access to such fabrics, especially with no MOQs. Like Ethical Elements has 0 MOQ, like minimum quantity order. That's what I mean. So you could go into our office and select the fabric you like for your collection and take even half a meter or a meter if you want to test it out. So that's our selling point. And it's been 2 years now, alhamdulillah. And I moved last year actually, to Turkey to try and expand Ethical Elements. And Sonam and Sana are holding the fort there. They're doing such an awesome job. I'm trying to get people to understand how durable, like Archeli said, and how great looking sustainable fabrics are, and that people don't have to compromise. Yes, the costs are a little bit higher than the normal, but that comes with the territory, because the demand is so low. People still don't understand the concept about sustainable and ethical fashion. And for me, the core from all of this is the ethics behind a brand, the people behind what you do and your products. It's very important to me. So the people aspect is what I would focus on in ethical elements, and Sana and Sonam would focus on the business part. So it's a good team. It's a great team, alhamdulillah. And yeah, so that's how ethical elements came about. And we sell sustainable, ethical fabrics available to anybody around the world, and at no minimum quantity. So they can test it out. And we've had some great customer reviews, and we've had some great customers who have already used the fabrics and are actually happy about it. So it is a slow process. Everybody knows Archel it's 10 years, my love, for Go Shopia, and mashallah, you're doing very good at it. And you know that it takes time for people to understand. So the education part is very important. And that's where I go around talking about it to schools and universities. And we've worked with a lot of universities in UAE. And they're also introducing sustainable and ethical fashion syllabus in their courses, which is great. So yeah, that's how the whole sustainable fashion show during the Fashion Revolution Week started. And Archeli's carrying on the flag, and she's doing great at it. And I'm so happy to see that people are interested in bringing out their talent and showing and actually being a part of this. And they know that this is the future. I mean, there is no other way. Like, sustainable fashion is the future. There's no argument about it, because we have consumed so much from this earth that you don't have a choice. You will have to go to sustainable fashion. You will have to go into recycling, upcycling, everything that comes with it. Now they have a new one called re-commerce, where they're reselling stuff. So anything and everything that can happen around sustainability in the fashion industry has to happen now. And I think it's happening in the Middle East, a little slow, but surely it's going to take over.
Yeah.
Great, thank you, Aisha.
All should be sustainable, honestly. All fashion should be sustainable. We totally lose the hand of it with the fast fashion brands and now ultra fast fashion brands. But really, like, we should go back to the old times in terms of fashion. Good quality, good materials, things that are lasting long, not exploited labor. We should really go back to when it was better.
Yeah.
We just broke the system.
I mean, talking about the innovative material, actually, I kind of covered everything. There was something else also that I was looking into, and it's a company called Kintra, and they produce 100% organic fabric, which is similar to polyester, but it is made out of what was it? I think it's corn and wheat, sugars from corn and wheat. People should look into this. They call themselves Zero Plastic. I think they're doing a great job at that. Also, I found out about Wocow. It's a vegan wool, which are the winners of PETA and Stella McCartney Bio Design Challenge. And they create wool from coconut and hemp using oyster mushroom enzymes. I want to get my hands on all of these and test them out. Archer, you forgot cactus leather.
Cactus leather, apple leather.
Yeah. And at the moment, at Ethical Elements, we have fabric made out of milk. Yes, protein from milk. So we have
soya also. They also have soya milk. There's milk,
soya, yes.
And I love from the collection, because we launched a mini capsule collection and it was made out of hemp, and the hemp was made with Aisha. We bought it from her. Hemp is also an amazing material more people should know about. I mean, I love linen a lot, but hemp is even more durable than linen.
We have a huge collection of it.
We put it also
here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's lots coming out. I mean, one more thing I am sorry taking a little bit of time. One more thing I'm passionate about is the blockchain technology that's coming in, tracking the supply chain. It's not easy. It's not an easy process, because not everyone is ethical about it. But as much as we could, if we could introduce that in our fabrics, in our collections, it will really help. It will help the customer. It will help you as a company. Just to be more transparent. I think it would be great.
Yeah, we were talking about
Oh,
yesterday, right, girls? We were talking precisely about blockchain technology in the supply chain talk. It was very interesting. And still, we still don't know how exactly to work it out and how, because of course it needs to be blockchain. It has their own way and technology to make it
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
But we're looking and waiting and see how we can actually implement it in our supply chains. I mentioned something that the big some brand is trying to do with the support of the Louis Vuitton Foundation and stuff. Let's see how that rolls out. Of course, the luxury brands will be the first ones to try it, and then if it's something that they see commercially viable, maybe they open up for the rest of brands to use too. But I think this would be major, as Aisha said, that would give really accountability to everyone in this space.
I mean, we could start small. I was thinking about individuals having a barcode on their items, and that barcode could lead to a message or what do you call it?
I have already some designers that have a QR code in the label.
We could start with that. We don't have to
How they
correct
deal
it.
in the garments, but that is it can be made up. You know, at the end it's like, okay, when buying
Well,
this,
that's
you're
another
something.
thing about, you know,
But when you have technology, blockchain in there, it doesn't stop in there. It actually, you can, if you are selling later down the line, those pieces of clothes and it ends up in the secondary market, you can know all the previous hands that had the garment. And I think that would be really amazing also, because that way we would know when we are going to Chile, to Atacama or to Ghana, and we
that's
have
spooky.
this.
That's spooky, knowing where all it went to.
no,
You never know what will come
it's
out
not
of
going to
it.
be detailed on who had it or anything like that. I mean, this is mainly where it was sourced from, who the farmers were, how did it get to the, the CEO, the transportation of it, how did it get to the warehouse, which warehouse. It's just those important parts. It's not going to be about, oh, Gauri had it and then Araceli had it.
They're working like that, a full comprehensive
But
blockchain.
it's the future, yeah.
That to
We can
end
start
Brilliant.
small.
I'm going to bring you all back now to innovative materials. And my next question to all of you is, are there any challenges that you all face? Because I see that all of you are working with very new materials. What challenges do you face when the use of these new materials has to be integrated with the supply chain? What are the struggles that you see? So we'll start with Kim.
I think that's a very good question. I think that we foresaw that this would be a main consideration. I think, as I previously mentioned, because this is a centuries-old industry, and I'm speaking mostly from like a manufacturing perspective, right? When we want to introduce something new, and you imagine these kind of factories where there are like hundreds, sometimes thousands of workers, just doing their daily routine every day, for them to, come in and try something new, it's like it's almost troublesome and irritating for them.
Yeah.
Right? And oftentimes the decision needs to be well, a top-down or an R&D or an innovation department who's willing to take this in and to trial. And because we are in the finishing business, basically the liquid finishing, the auxiliary that I was mentioning, we don't have the capabilities, or rather we don't intend to have to set up the infrastructure to run another textile mill, because we want to enable everyone, right? And the best way to enable everyone to be active agents of change is when our solution can be scaled at a global level. It's not a matter where, we create the fabric and then buy it from us, the fabric.
Yes,
because that way it's just going to be a lot slower.
Absolutely great.
So with regards to that, I think when we foresaw this being a huge challenge, that's when we actually designed it, I think, as I mentioned also previously, to be a drop-in solution. A little bit of background. I think this is a timely moment for me to share a little bit of background of how Costera came about. It's not plucked out of thin air. I designed the solution myself, so I have a huge technical team behind me, amazing, scientists and chemists. So our holding company is actually called Synterra. Synterra for short is like, Syn is it means heart in Mandarin, and Terra is earth, right? So basically we use AI and machine learning to radically innovate and create new materials. And through our AI platform called XDF, Synterra Design Factory, this is when we managed to find, if I'm not wrong, about 120 new carbon capture materials.
Wow.
And these materials have never been seen in any form of literature before. And then it's through this selection of carbon capture materials that we decided to select just a small portfolio of this to be plugged and to be kind of like manipulated and designed for particularly the textile industry. So most of my team members are not very not from the fashion world. They don't speak the fashion language. So a lot of things had to be learned along the way. So why I brought up this AI is because it's through the use of technology that we managed to in that sense make it as seamless as possible, make it as seamless a transition as possible for even the centuries-old traditions, machineries that the current mills are using. And we don't want to come in with like, hey, you have to buy our machine that costs like hundreds of thousands of dollars. No, it's whatever you already have in your machine. It's just a new liquid. And this liquid format is exactly the same type of format that you use for all your other functional finish, antimicrobial, anti-wrinkle, softeners, so on and so forth. So I completely forgot your question.
Yeah, you're talking the right thing. You've said that educating the industry about your product and in convincing them to use is a challenge.
Yeah, so I think with regards to any form of challenge, I would say, of course, when it comes to a new, I think a very valid point at this stage is also when it comes to a new innovation like ours, who is going to validate it? I can tell you that this t-shirt removes carbon dioxide.
Yes.
But the question then is how would you believe me? Right. And because it's not a solution that has, certifications, or it's not a solution that has like third-party testings and labs out there. So being able to then, so it's not just about us creating that solution, plugging it into the textile mill and then running that forward. It's also all these other, sort of how do I put this? All these other pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that we need to fit into place before we can actually have a foot and step into the industry. So I would say that is really the challenge for an innovative material in the industry.
Sure. Do you think kind of collaborating with brands, big brand names will kind of let everyone know? So say, for example, I don't know, you go to Zara and say, this is the technology. And do you think if they adapted and kind of started doing this, will everybody know and start to identify it? Is that something you guys do, or?
Yes, of course. I think we have conversations with brands, large brands, small brands. And definitely the moment we can validate this and have it in the market with a large brand, I think the fashion industry is all about.
That's the validation people need, brands.
Yes, but I mean, that being said, we still need official validation, which we do have, and we are actually working to have this as a third-party certified facility as well.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Kim. That was very informative. Aisha, can I come to you next?
Oh. Okay, challenges. Cost.
Yes.
So we have many who are very worried about the cost. Like I said in the beginning, cost is a bit higher than the normal fabrics, of course, because the technology that goes behind it and trying to find these new materials and the demand for it with being low. So the production is low. Hence the price is, is slightly higher. But eventually it will change because the more the demand, the more the supply, and then the less the cost to make it. So people need to understand that. So challenges are cost. Challenges also are the supply chain complexity. the sourcing and producing innovative materials requires a lot of adjustment of existing supply chains, like Kim was mentioning. A lot of people not, they're like, at this stage, do we need to try something new? How is this going to help? I mean, I'm not sure. Kim probably has like auditors who also probably provide information to them about how much they're going to make if they do this, and what kind of CO2 reduction they will do, and doing a little chart on the future not challenges, future possibilities of gaining more from this change. So that's another challenge. And again, limited availability, like I mentioned, because demand is low. So people want to first, their innovation is, yes, I mean, all this innovation costs money. So they have, all these researchers and the chemists and the scientists need funding to be trying all these things out. So things that have worked, like Araceli was mentioning, Pinatex, and things that were from banana leaf, banana tex, all this is working well. Now milk, which one of our suppliers has produced, is also helping him out. We have Cupro, which is cotton, which is a starch from corn starch fabric mixed with lyocell and linen. Oh, it's just beautiful fabrics. We have the samples in our store, so if anyone is interested, please go have a look. I mean, just for the feel of it and just for the understand what it is, go have a look at all our samples, so you can understand what we're talking about and how the fabric actually feels. It's hopefully in the future, Ethical Elements will work on setting up their own factory in Middle East.
Brilliant.
Inshallah, fingers crossed. That's the future goal, where we can produce our own ethical fashion, sustainable fashion fabrics. Of course, we need a lot of help with research centers, and we're trying to work with universities here with their research centers, and also involve the young minds to work with us to produce, or you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Whatever is existing, just try and reuse it and implement it in Middle East.
Sure.
So we're working with that.
Sure.
Another point would be consumer awareness. People are not aware of this. They're not educated about it. Some don't care. Some care, but they don't know much about it. So talking about it and doing blogs and posts and it's very important. So they need to understand why we're doing this and how is it like. I had a question just now in the Zoom meeting, where is hemp as good as linen? Yes, it is. It is much more durable than linen. It's slightly a little bit more rougher, but that's in the first stage when you get things made. But as the wash goes, like linen, it gets softer and softer. So you have to try it. I mean, that's why, like I said, no MOQs. Go get a small fabric. Try it for your pet if you want to, or for your kids, and then see how that works. Another point is regulation and certifications. All these factories that you buy these fabrics from, you must ask them, because these are huge factories. They can afford it, because certifications costs, like GOTS certificate, Global Organic Textile Standards, OEKO Tex, and then you have the recycling, global recycling standards, global organic cotton standards. There's so many of those, which you can look into when you're purchasing your fabric, your textile. All these certificates are available with us too, with our suppliers. So clients, if they want, they can see our certification, and which are up to date. And the risk of greenwashing. That's the last point. So a lot of brands are doing greenwashing. I'm going to call out a brand which I detest right now. It's H&M, and a couple of more, because a lot of them talk about their eco-conscious collection and I don't know what not. Some people say they're doing something, okay, like they have the recycling unit in there and stuff like that. But for a company of that scale, I think that something is just nothing. Like, they could make such a huge impact if they made changes and if they paid their workers. Yeah, we have to be aware of the greenwashing that's going around with all these brands. Those are the main challenges, I think.
Thank you so much, Aisha. You touched on a very interesting point about consumer reaction to it, but that was my next question. So I'll come back to it again after we've heard from Araceli about the challenges she has faced integrating. her
The
products?
challenges in my case, because I work with different designers, I can tell you the challenges. Aisha pretty much touched them because the materials cost more and the labor is fair pay, so then it's more expensive. If it's more expensive, then there is resistance for people maybe to test. Then because it's new, there is also a factor of I don't know if I'm gonna like it. So normally for that is we try to show, okay, so this is this material, this is try to feel it, so that people get to have a feel of it, and then they're open to try it. Because if they haven't seen it before, if I tell you, for example, here we have Oscar. Oscar is working for Veganology. They have recycled plastic, and they also have apple leather. When at the beginning, even before they started, I started having some apple leather and also what we call wine leather, from grapes. People were like looking at me like if I was totally cuckoo. Like, what is that? And because they don't know, they don't trust, because I think, I'm wearing fruits, so I think that we need to speak more. And also the minute that it gets more normalized, that you can do so many things with leftovers, people are more open to it, then they try once they see it, and that will help. So I agree with something that Kim said. It takes a while until you really, you get to speak about it. Eventually you get to, and for example, I wanted to say something what Kim was saying. Kim was part of our Sustainable Fashion Expo, and she brought in the expo the machine where you could see how the t-shirt was actually absorbing the CO2. She had like a chamber with the measurements, and she would put it inside, and we were recording that. And it was amazing because you could see the difference. Okay, this thing is actually working. You may not be able to see it with your eyes, but this machine is measuring this, and you can see the difference. So it is there. The difficulty in this case, for example, in Kim's solution is because you don't see, so you need to see it. And that's why it was so powerful for people to get to understand. Okay, you may have an anti-wrinkle treatment for clothes. You can have actually a CO2 removal on your clothes, and you're doing your bit for the environment. And it's not, it's just, it's not losing on design, is not losing on anything. It's actually just an extra beautiful extra that you add to your style. But this, because it's something that you don't see, it is also difficult to sell. So I think we need to work on the consumer's mindset. They're more open, share a lot about what is coming new. That's why every 2 years we talk about innovation in fashion, because there is so much going on, and we need to support this, even if it's not yet perfect. I know, for example, we were talking, when we had the beautiful conversation with Piñatex, Carmen Hijosa, the founder of Piñatex, was with us on the floor. And I was telling her, okay, so there is still a percentage of it that is actually binding agents that is plastic, right? And they're working to reduce it. So if we keep on supporting them, even if the solution is not yet perfect, they know where they want to go, and it still is helping. So I think we need to, as Aisha said, the more that we embrace innovation, the more funding they may get, the more economies of scale they can manage to achieve, the cheaper it will become for all of us. But it always requires beta testers and people that trust the process and trust the intentions, and that we are able to support them to reach to that minimum break point when they actually get to be there and more wide knowledge. So, for example, Oscar, he's here. He can tell us a little bit about the apple leather. It was not easy to introduce apple leather to this market, and it's a fantastic material, but it was not easy. And it happened the same with the cactus leather. It happened the same with basically, every new material, there is a little bit of resistance because they are not sure how long is it gonna last, if it's gonna get rotten, if this, and
rotten, very interesting.
yeah, they think of, I understand it's a new material, it's innovation, and they don't know. So we need to address all those concerns to make sure they're convinced, there's, whatever concerns they have, it's addressed, and they can trust.
Sure. So I'm not going to ask the question about consumers, because all three of you have touched the reactions of consumers in some sort of way. My last question is about, yes, the last question is about, when you're innovating something, there is always this, well, am I going to make money more if I scale it more? So how do you balance out the decision between scaling it or the practicality of it? I would go, Kim, would you want to start first? Do you want me to repeat the question?
Basically, balancing the new innovation, balancing practicality and scalability.
Yeah.
I see. I mean, maybe I can clarify a little bit more about this question, but wouldn't you say scalability is practical? Or what do you mean by practicality in this sense?
Yeah, so sometimes there are some materials which can't be mass produced. So you
Can't be
can
what,
say
sorry?
some materials might not be able to be mass produced.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
say, for example, polyester can be mass produced, but is not sustainable. Yeah. So maybe what if it's a material that can be produced in a really low quantity and you have an option to choose something which you can mass produce? How would you balance the act so that it can be scaled up as well and it can reach to as many people as possible as well?
I think touching a little bit on Aisha's comment earlier about, the additional cost that is involved when it comes to innovation. The fashion industry is largely, based on my experience, largely cost sensitive. 10 cents more USD, it rocks the boat a little bit. Granted that a lot of these materials are, so I do see this as is a very chicken and egg problem, right? With increased demand or increased demand and use of such materials, you are then able to essentially scale the product. But yet at the same time, because the cost is high, it's very difficult for you to achieve that increased scale and demand for you to then scale it up. And with a lot of brands, they are very cautious about their inventory that they hold on hand. They are not willing to put in, a large order and take a chance or take a bet on such an innovation. And oftentimes, they need to kind of have a sensing of whether this product, if it's innovative, would it sell well? Or should they just, continue with their old ways, what they've tried and tested, and they know would make them the margins that they require. So I guess from an innovation point of view, I do believe that we need to definitely innovate for new materials, new solutions in the industry. But I think just for practicality's sake, for, bringing food to the table, there needs to be a certain level of scalability where people are actually purchasing said items and people are actually, there is some demand, whatever it means for you to break even and then profit from there. So I think a point to add to this is that don't underestimate, I guess, the use of technology in this case, because technology is already known to make a lot of processes a lot more efficient. And with efficiency, you are actually driving your costs down quite a fair bit.
Sure.
If it makes sense to not, if the procurement of the raw materials is the part that, has the most cost and it's not something that you can solve with technology, are there other areas in this production of said material that you can actually embed technology in to try to reduce your costs? And so be very detailed and thorough in every step of the way to understand where can you drive the cost down, because we have to also be realistic, I think, with the industry. And I think also tapping on Araceli's point earlier is consumer education and consumer awareness. The demand at the end of the day does come from the consumer. If the consumers show that there is a need for it, and I do see this shift, right? Especially the younger generations. But is it a shift that is enough? So we do see this little shift, but let's let's just rally a little bit more to demand more sustainable materials out there, to demand more sustainable solutions for brands to actually abide by their word. And at the same time, while we are rallying for this, how much are we willing to give as part of to be part of this cause, right? So we, as consumers, we also have to be realistic to a certain degree. So are we willing to pay top dollar for something that is more sustainable? Yeah.
So it's very interesting that you mentioned the use of technology and that the youngsters are more prone and more attached to this idea. So in today's world, everything is technology. Everything is because everybody has access to everything. And the younger generation is the fastest to adapt to the new trend. And they are the ones who are being taught in schools about earth and sustainability, and they are more closer to it. So I think that's a key to kind of educate everybody, educate more of the population about your innovation. And more educated people are, more they would kind of get interested into it. Well, that was really great insight, Kim. Thank you. Aisha, do you want to go next?
Oh, I don't know what to add to Kim. Kim covered it mostly. Yes, education, and like she said, it is a chicken and an egg kind of a story. At ethical elements, we are not trying to reinvent anything. We are focused on materials that are easily available, are not as expensive, feel like what the other normal fabrics they feel like the cupro and linen blends. That's just beautiful. They feel like linen, but they look like linen, but they feel like silk. We're not going in and purchasing completely out of this context fabrics, like Araceli said, sells finished products, so people actually can see it and they can feel what this leather feels like as a product. For us as fabric textile suppliers, we are focusing on fabrics that people are used to or easily adapted to. So right now that's the focus. So yes, we are introducing some samples like the milk, which some of the clients tested and they're very happy with it. So now we know that, okay, this is something that people would be interested in. Also fabrics for active wear and swimwear that we are researching into introducing, and because we've got a lot of requests for this from our clients, and we're trying to find also alternatives to polyester in the market. So we are also working on demand-based. So if clients ask for it, we go then look for it. And what we have is something that the clients would easily buy, like hemp and linen and blends. So we also have some fabrics which are post-consumer and post-product waste blends. One of the questions was about what is the end life cycle of blended fabrics? How is it recycled? Very great question. Not all of them are possible to be recycled as fabrics, as textile, but they can be recycled as other things. Like there is a company I was following called Fabric. It's a brick. They make bricks out of waste fabrics. They shred it into tiny particles and they use that as bricks. Probably not bricks as a foundation. They probably haven't come to that point yet, but they use it as furniture design, wall design.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I've seen their videos.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
They're beautiful bricks. Yes.
Beautiful. I mean, that's perfect idea of example of recycling. Also, you could recycle the fabrics that couldn't be recycled as fashion textile to the stuffing in your sofas. Or Virgin Airlines uses it in their seats, in their aircrafts. You know, there's so many ways you can do it.
Construction or
The car
isolation of
industry
the
can use
building.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what we need. We need the youngsters, we need the researchers to come up with other ideas. It doesn't have to be recycled into a fabric. It could be recycled into some other byproduct, something else that could be used without using virgin material. So yeah, there are many possibilities out there, and my battery is going low.
We're almost done. We have, I'll take the last one. Thank you, Aisha. I'll take the last one from Araceli.
Yes, yeah.
So
I get disconnected, I'm sorry.
the question was about the balance.
Yes.
I think it, because of all the many interviews that I've done to innovators such as Kim, such as Carmen Hijosa from Piñatex, the gentleman from Switzerland, from Bananatex, and all these, there is always a process that new materials take their time. Initially, you see, for example, if we see, I don't know if many of you saw, like last year in D3 during Dubai Design Week, we had actually the process. It was like a installation from Stella McCartney. And you see how they were developing the mushroom leather, how the first prototypes were looking like, and they didn't look good. And then the other ones were looking a little bit better. How, yeah, but they were not lasting that long. So how all the different process that they went through, and it's still in process. So it's still mushroom leather. It's kind of like proprietary kind of a thing because it's not yet perfect and because it's not yet ready to go to the market in a more broad, right? So this is important. In the case of these people, they managed to get under the umbrella of Stella McCartney, which is investing in this kind of things. Most of the innovations are not that lucky, and they need to fund and raise funds from thin air many times. So it is important that, you know, we acknowledge what they're doing. They are scientists put to a mission to actually get something that we can use in our daily lives. It's not easy. And I always saw that there is like a process, how they starting bit by bit, almost, you know, like in a lab, testing the things themselves. Then maybe they get a little bit of funding. They maybe engage a little bit more. And it's like a little, yeah, it's like a little line up, but it goes slowly until there is a peak when suddenly they reach that, you know, like the sweet spot and someone talks about them. Or for example, in the case of Carmen, she got a collaboration with H&M. Remember that back in the day, H&M was doing these collaborations with certain materials. So they did a pair of sneakers. And that put Carmen and all her project in the Philippines suddenly in the map because everybody was talking about them because, of course, they had the people and the PR and the marketing dollars from H&M that they wanted to see themselves as sustainable by using Piñatex. But that also benefited Carmen doing this. Do you know what I mean?
Something good.
I think it's, yeah, and this is something interesting because the materials that Aisha is sourcing, those are there, and if the big brands will adopt them, the change could be significant, you know. But the problem is that they also have to fight their dinosaurs. Yesterday, Alicia was mentioning very well, a company of this scale, when they are doing fast fashion and they're producing so much items, it is not sustainable per se, no matter what they change. But at least if they try to make it a little bit better, I will still give them that, you know? But I think that's a little bit the difficulty, the balancing act of working a lot. You don't know where if you're gonna get there or you're gonna run out of money, out of passion, out of will. If the customers are gonna be there for you by the time you finish, and then suddenly whoop, goes up. That's what I've seen from my conversations with them in the past. It's not easy. That's why I think innovation has to be supported. I think it's something that we can also do in our community group. I think most of you are in the community group. If not, Aisha, if you can post again, as we have new people, we can share some links and you can understand about these different materials. Aisha, you can put in there all the different materials that you're working with. Kim, please post also about Costera. Everybody, whatever you know, whatever you discover that is exciting, please put it in there so that we get to learn all together what is new, what is cooking in there. And I think this is really something exciting. Also as a community that we get educated from, you know, one another. Whatever I discover, I share. Whatever you discover, you share, and everybody gets to learn more.
Oh, yes. I see that people have been asking questions in the comment sections and they've been answered already. And if anyone's question is left unanswered, you guys can post it on the community group, and all of us are on there. Rasali is there. I'm hoping Kim and Aisha are also on there and they can answer it straight from there. But our time is up. You're
Yeah,
checking the question?
we can answer
I
some then. I think it's important, like Pujita was
Okay.
asking, the cleaning agents that we use are natural cleaners. Would it be still okay to remove the CO2? Because Pujita,
Yeah.
I mean, we are hardcore trying to use no chemicals when we do our laundry. We have many conversations about this. Right now I'm using bioenzymes from Sumitra, actually another lady from our group. Would this work if we are actually using bioenzymes on our laundry, Kim, for example?
Yeah, so I think I answered her question. Basically, it largely depends on the ingredients of the natural laundry pots. The ingredient specific, I'm not sure. This one I have to revert to, I have to check with the technical team. Because the desorption basically of the carbon dioxide captured is a chemical process. So the right elements must be in place for it to then mineralize this and get washed away.
Okay, and then maybe if you can find out whenever you are ready, you can post it also. Puchita is also part of the WhatsApp in the community in Facebook in Fashion Revolution community WhatsApp group. You can post it in there because I know many of our tribe is actually interested into that. We have other laundry detergents within our group, like for example, Adrian is doing clean touches and all this. So we if you tell us, okay, it needs to have this component, then we will be able to find out someone from the community that is producing that. We also have Because You Care, which is another laundry product that they are doing everything handmade and they're using only natural products like Sabon de Castile, how you call it, Castile soap, and this kind of thing. So I think this is also interesting if it will react to that. Then there was also Pallavi mentioning about the MOQs. Aisha, we spoke about this so many times, right? When you were starting, like, please make sure that it's small MOQs for all designers to be able to embrace, because there was a hunger and there was a need for what Aisha was cooking. And the problem was always the MOQs. That was really Pujita mentions about the flower leather. Pujita, share in the WhatsApp group about this. We really would love to know more about it. Lotus stem silk, also very unique and beautiful material, as well as a spider silk. I heard about this too, and I'm actually looking forward to feel them. So Anastasia, if you're here, yes, you are. Post this information also in there so that we can keep on researching. Oh, this is important. Pujita, and she was even asking me before, we lost Aisha for a minute. She wanted to know the right replacement for sports, especially tennis. I don't like polyester sticking to my body and irritating me, literally. So okay, it really depends. The thing is that we can go to broad fits, let's put it like that, like these trousers that I show you that are Tencel and Seaweed. Those are broad, you know, they're not stretch. When we want to have that stretch looking fit, that has elastan and that normally is synthetic. And that will go better with synthetic fibers. Let's face it. The best you can do then is try them to be recyclable. But I want to mention something about that because Alexia was also mentioning, I think it was Alexia or Vivian, they were mentioning about the fact that even if it's recycled, still is polyester and there is microplastics going out there. So we know this is not a perfect solution. For me, do you remember when we were young and we used to do sports and we were using our cotton candle, you know? what happened with that? You know, like it's just comfortable. It is just better. I know we are in Dubai, maybe that's a little bit too warm for that, but you can wear shorts instead of long trousers. And I think that would work also. That to me would be the best solution if you ask me. But there is a lot of ladies that want the stretch fit because it looks great, because you know you make your silhouette, because you see what areas you're working and it's more sexy. But that fit normally comes with the disadvantages. of being the synthetics, of the need for synthetics, basically. She also mentions, Brigitte also mentioned about us too yesterday, talking about the QR code in the label. We can tell her, she's not here right now, but we can tell her also to post the solution today. They are so you can coordinate with that. Alexia, there is a lot of interesting new materials out there, especially to reduce leather. But some reduce adding solvents inside to be made, and those products can be problematic for the environment and for our health. True, but as I say, all the people that I spoke with, they're reducing the binding agent that makes it flexible. Normally, that is the issue, the flexibility of it. When you are creating something with it, it needs to be flexible enough to adapt to our bodies. And that's the binding agent. In the case of cactus leather is around 20%. In the case of Piñatex, it was 18%, but they were working already on something that would reduce that. So I think it's on the works. Still, it is much better than if we go to 100% polyurethane, which is what they call vegan leather. We did a super interesting podcast. I invite you all to check it out. It is with the Eco Shiro podcast. Pallavi is part of the community. She's here. And we talk about that. What is vegan leather and what not? Because it's important that we understand that when they are trying to sell us vegan leather, that doesn't mean that it's sustainable. It is very important that we know what is the difference. PU is just plastic, and it will flake, it will be destroyed in a very fast, so it's not a durable solution. Avoid that. I'd rather have something that has a little bit of binding agent rather than the whole thing being plastic. I know it's not perfect, but at least it is better. Carbon capture materials need to be cleaned after each wear, and Kim very well addressed that. You can keep on wearing the clothes, but the activation of the CO2 capture will just get activated again when it's washed. But you can use it, and we always strive to use to only wash your clothes when you really need it, not all the time. If you wear it once and it's not stained and you didn't sweat and it's not smelly and it's just, put it in the balcony and let it get a little bit of fresh air and it's good to go. You don't need to be washing consistently the clothes. It damages the clothes, it damages the fibers, and it makes them last shorter. So just wash it when you really need it. And once you wash it, you will get the carbon to back again. Pallavi is asking about the end of life of blended fabrics. Right now, it's only monofibers, as very well Vivian explained, as also Aisha explained. I want to share with you, there is some research that H&M is actually funding, and it is a way to be able to segregate, when it's, imagine a polycotton, to segregate it. And they're still working on it. It's not yet final. Hopefully, with their funding, they're able to get to a good place, and that would be able to, for real, recycle mixed fibers. Again, not all mixed fibers, but at least they're trying to work out the most common mixed fibers, which are normally polyesters with something, cotton or else. So let's see if they manage to find a solution on that. In this case, I'm happy that H&M is funding because they have the money. Vivian mentions about the PET bottles. That is not a sustainable solution when we are putting it on the clothes. I agree with you. It's not a perfect solution at all. I rather see the bottles being recycled into other things that don't need washing, basically. And they come back to a more solid shape, but still, it is a solution, and we need to figure out maybe if there is a way, as an innovation, we need to figure out if there is a better way for it. So better than nothing, I still support, even though it's not the perfect solution, because I think there is a way to make it a little bit better. For example, if we use it in the right places. So for example, if instead of on a t-shirt that you're going to need to wash more often, you put it in a belt, or you put it in a scarf, or you put it on something that you don't wash that often, that is okay. That would serve. We also have, for example, shoes being made with plastic bags, and I think that's super interesting too. And what was the brand, Pujita? The one from Matthias? Don't remember the brand of this.
Daily.
Taeli, yes, Thaely.
Aely. Yeah.
We don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, that
Theli
one.
means bag in India.
Ah,
So
that's so
theli
you know
means,
how to
yeah,
pronounce
bag.
the sneakers are made using plastic bags that fuse together, so they create kind of like a thicker layer of plastic, and they're using the sneakers with that. It's really, really cool. This is put into movement the whole recycling possibilities within India. Everybody is catching the bags, cleaning them, and giving them to be able to do this. So it's good. We're actually being able to rescue. Yes, Pujita.
Can I add? There is one more called in India called Shop Without. Glasses, cooling glasses, which is made of these kind of multi whatever plastic bags stuff.
That's
So
so cool.
again, yeah. So that's also another thing which is an addition to fashion brands, right? Yeah.
And also Midori Fedor, which is also part of our group, he is recycling bottles of, not bottles, but the taps, the caps of the bottles. And with that, he's able also to do glasses, the frames of the glass.
Yeah. Frames of the glasses, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really, really cool. I think that's about it. Oh, Oscar, good balance between the high demands of these new materials and the production, the risk to create non-ethical systems that replicate the same problematics of the non-sustainable materials with time. That's good point, actually, Oscar. That's a very good point. We need to make sure that we are not creating a bigger monster out of it. I totally agree with you. Blockchain, again, I think blockchain would really all waiting for it, aren't we? Yeah, apple leather, wine leather, they were criticized about it. For us, it required a lot of education. I'm not very sure why they were criticized. To be honest, in my case, there were people were just not trusting it, but it is a fantastic material. Hey Q, Vivian, put this in the group. We want to study this as a replacement for polyester. We really want to know more about it. Pallavi shared the episode also. I think there is a lot recycled polymer fishes. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. So let's put all these in the WhatsApp groups. You see, this is also Kashi she was also in panel day one, and she's going to be also in the sustainable souk. They recycle fabrics on heirlooms, and that way they give employments to artisans and make luxury fabrics. And they're beautiful, honestly. You have to see them. Come on the 20 to Times Square. You will be able to feel them and touch them, and they're really awesome. And I think we have all the questions answered. If you guys have any more questions, let us know, because we are so late, Mike. But it was so interesting. Thank you, everybody, for joining today.
Thank you, everyone. We had 3 beautiful, wonderful women doing good work.
We have a lot of women and a
Innovative
bit of
material.
gentlemen here doing a lot of good work.
Yes. No, I was talking about the panels.
Everyone is a panelist here because we are all a community, and we are here to help and support one another and learn from one another. So thank you so much for today. I hope everybody got to learn, and I hope to see you tomorrow for the struggle. No, for the struggle is real. Yes.
Real.
We're going to be talking about precisely the challenges brands and consumers face when they want to embrace sustainability. I think we all have gone through it when we are, trying to live a more conscious lifestyle. I think it's important that we all share our struggles, and we are okay with not judgments when we are not perfect, because it is totally fine not being perfect. We're trying our best, and that's good enough, I think if we are good to go, guys, no more questions. Then we're gonna start. We're gonna stop the recordings and the Facebook streamings. Thank you so much for joining.
Araceli, we wanted to take a picture of everybody
Oh,
together.
I took a
possible?
picture. I took a picture already. I can share it in the group.
Oh, okay, done.
Remember, I always forget. I always forget. Always is someone else taking a picture. I took a picture before, so I will share it in the group. I was the